able to perform its regular duties, and then it would be killed and eaten. But by this time, the meat was hard and stringy and kind of gross, so cooking it slowly in the wine would help soften the meat and make it more edible. This recipe has been historically considered poor people's food or peasant food throughout history. There are many legends that have tried to trace coq au vin, but this meal has not been documented until the 20th century. This meal has existed and been accepted as a rustic dish long before that. There's a similar recipe called poulet au veau blanc, which is a chicken recipe using white wine instead of red wine. And the wine that is usually used is Burgundy, but in many regions they have various versions of coq au vin using their own wines, like in Champagne where they call it coq au vin Champagne.
Before I begin, I'm going to start by peeling the onions. To peel the onions, chop off each end of the small white onion, and then just take your fingernail and peel off a thin, crisp outer layer. Or, as a quicker version, you can boil them. Oh my! My eyes are getting really teary and watery as I peel these onions. What could I use?
Another tip of the day is to use onion goggles. So, Maren, as a present from me to you, I brought you some.
Why, thank you, Sarah.
Okay, so now we are going to slice the onions. So we just cut off the ends. We don't need that part. And you just cut it in half. And then you're going to slice them. And you can take off some of the excess skin. Okay. And then you just slice it down the side.
Guys, I'm taking the tips seriously, because we've been crying a lot in here. So, our next step is to slice 1 tablespoon of shallots. So, for our next step, we need 4 cloves of pureed garlic. So first, I'm going to chop up the cloves a little bit, then puree it with the mortar and pestle, like so, until it's at a pureed consistency.
Hi guys, okay, so now we are ready to actually cook the meal. We did all the preparing, all of our onions and garlic is all prepared. Everything is chopped and measured, and now it is time to start cooking your meal. Okay, so the next step that you need to do, first you're going to put your pan on high, and we're going to pour in enough water so it's going to cover the entire salt pork. So about that much. And we cut the salt pork into 2 pieces, and you're just going to put it in there. And then you're going to bring it to a boil, and as soon as it gets to a boil, you want to simmer it for about 5 minutes and then take it out or let it rest.
And now we're going to brown the chicken in olive oil and butter. And we're going to do it in batches.
The next step is to salt and pepper the chicken. This is after you've browned it, but just make sure that it's thoroughly salt and peppered for a delicious taste. Okay, so the next step is to put all of our onions in the pan that we just used for the chicken. So there's all of the leftover chicken fat in here, which will help brown the onions. And you're just going to leave them in there until they're brown. And we're doing this over 2 pans because we doubled the recipe. Another quick step that you need to do is pull off 1 teaspoon of the leaves off of the thyme. This is in sprig form, so we're just going to pull off about 1 teaspoon to help season our dish.
Add flavoring, we added our blanched pork that we made in the beginning of the film.
Next, we're making bourne money, which is a flour-based paste, and it's just a really quick sauce thickener. So you need 3 tablespoons of flour and also 3 tablespoons of butter, and then you're going to mix it together to create a quick sauce thickener. So the next step is you're going to be adding all of your ingredients into the pan. We're starting with the chicken, but already in there we have the onions and our salt pork. So we're just going to fit all of this in very nicely and comfortably. Over that, you want to put,
remember you're using half.
yeah, you want to put half of your garlic in there because the other half is going on the other one. And 1 bay leaf, half of the tomato paste, or the tomatoes, and half of your thyme. And then over that, you're putting 3 cups of your wine, which we're using is Zinfandel. And last, you need to put in 1 cup of your chicken broth, which will fit to about the top of the chicken. And after you put that in, you're going to let this simmer for about 20 minutes.
So now the chicken has been soaked in the sauce, and it's been simmering for about 20 minutes. So now we're gonna strain it through the strainer.
Now we're straining out all the juice from our original chicken broth. So we're straining the sauce and wine and broth from around all the other things that were in there.
So as Anna was talking about before, it was time to strain the chicken. So we strained it in here, and now we're laying it out on a paper towel to sop up all of the extra juices and to get it ready for the next step.
Now we are browning the little white onions after we strained all the juice out, which is right over here. And now the juice is simmering and boiling down while we brown the onions.
So the next thing that we need to do is put our beurre mer, which is the mixture of the flour and the butter, which is a sauce thickener, into your sauce so we can thicken it. And just let that keep on simmering until it is all melted in.
Chicken broth.
Wait, it didn't catch you now.
Now we're adding. Oh no!
Oh, that was hot.
We're now adding chicken broth and butter to our braised onions and mushrooms, and we're sautéing them all.
Mon enfant, je te lirai des histoires de comment j'ai découvert le premier crocodile. Il y a 30 ans, mes amis et moi, nous marchions à travers notre ville quand nous avons commencé. Regardez, il n'est pas neige hier soir, mais il faisait mauvais.
Je préfère parce que je n'ai pas pu partir de ma maison. Il faisait mauvais. Bien.
devons vérifier le coq.
Eh bien, notre coq n'est pas faire ses fonctions.
Maintenant, nous pouvons cuisiner le coq.
Mais où allons-nous chercher les ingrédients?
Nous pouvons regarder autour.
Voici les pâtes.
Et voilà l'oignon blanc.
Il y a des tomates.
Mais n'oublie pas les laver.
À mon avis, nous devrions obtenir le parcelle prochain.
J'ai lavé les tomates déjà, idiote.
Grâce à l'arbre, nous avons les olives pour l'huile d'olive.
Prochain, nous devons obtenir le porc.
Ici, il est. Il y a tant de thym dans l'herbe.
C'est pour l'aile.
Attendez, qu'est-ce que nous avons décidé de faire?
Nous n'avons pas choisi. Qu'est-ce que tu penses que nous devons faire?
Nous devons créer une nouvelle recette tout de suite.
Nous avons tous ces ingrédients et nous planifions de l'utiliser le coq.
Le coq a besoin d'être nommé pour nous mangions. Et depuis nous avons beaucoup de vin, nous devons cuisiner le coq dans la vie.
Quelle bonne idée. Pas un autre mot. Nous devons commencer.
Je voudrais dire, Fafi. Et des pour notre repas aussi.
J'irai vite obtenir le thym.
Je m'ai trouvé l'aile dans la terre.
Je dois monter un arbre pour les fruits de laurier.
Mais où est le vin?
Il est dans la cuisine. Il faut que tu vas chercher le vin.
Quand tu arrives dans la cuisine, tu ne dois pas obtenir les riz ou les poissons parce que nous n'avons pas besoin de ces ingrédients.
D'accord.
Depuis elle est allée obtenir le vin, nous devons trouver le coq parce que il est couvert loin de nous.
Si seulement il y avait une pige pour attraper le coq.
Mais il est le piège est entre ces deux arbres.
Dépêchez-vous, nous devons l'obtenir.
Hurrah! Le coq a attrapé!
Oh non, notre ennemi ne pense pas où nous sommes.
Où est-ce que vous êtes-elle?
Nous attrapions le coq pour notre repas.
Et le coq, il n'est pas vol loin de vous?
Non, il était très stupide. Il était surtout content quand nous avons attrapé le coq.
C'est formidable parce que maintenant nous pouvons cuisiner les repas.
Et est-ce que tu as trouvé le vin?
Combien était le vin?
Le coût vient depuis ces villes et très pauvres. Le coût était très cher. Mais il est bon parce que mon ami est très riche.
D'accord, devrions-nous commencer?
Et qu'est-ce que l'histoire de coq au vin?